Good afternoon, everybody. Pete Pardo here from Sea of Tranquility. Welcome to another edition of Classic Live Album War. Today we've got two pretty cool albums from the late, well, one's from 78, one's from 80. I was going to say both from the late 70s. They were actually recorded during the 70s. So we had one that was recorded at various places in 1977. The other has recordings from that run the gamut from 1976, I believe. Let me just kind of touch base with that factual information here. Yeah, so we've got recordings from 76 through the summer of 1980, and the official album itself was released in November of 1980. We are talking about Little Feat's Waiting for Columbus, all right, and Eagles Live, all right. Obviously, two stylistically kind of different bands, but both bands that kind of flirted with the whole Southern rock, country rock. You got a little bit of jam, a little bit of swamp rock here, a little bit of pop here. Kind of hard to pigeonhole either act, right? But no doubt, both fairly successful in this band. As far as this band goes, enormously successful. All right, and these guys more of like a cult band, although this live record probably perfectly kind of describes everything you'd ever need to know about Little Feat. So we're going to talk about them first, actually. So this album, like I said, came out in 1978, recorded during a few shows in 1977. A California band that kind of really embraced a lot of the sounds that were going out and down south. So, some people call them a legitimate Southern rock band, even though not from the South. A lot of their music kind of has that feel, right? So I always kind of, in fact, I mistakenly in my History of Southern Rock show totally forgot to talk about Little Feat, even though I had them on my list to discuss. Somehow I just kind of went right over them. But I always kind of felt that Little Feat were, their sounds, they played Southern rock basically. But they had lots of funk, okay, a little bit of pop, all sorts of little things going on. They certainly could jam, right? So you had a fearsome lineup here, all right? This is probably the best lineup and most popular lineup of Little Feat. So, of course, who we got in the band here? We've got Lowell George on lead vocals, guitar, slide guitar. You've got Paul Barrere on guitar and vocals. You got Sam Clayton, percussion and vocals. All right, Kenny Gradney, the great Kenny Gradney on bass guitar. Richard Hayward on drums and vocals. Bill Payne on keyboards and synths and vocals. Okay. And you got a bunch of guest stars. You got the Tower Power horn section shows up on here. Mick Taylor from Rolling Stones shows up here. Michael McDonald, Patrick Simmons from the Doobies. They show up and do some backing vocals on the track. All sorts of folks showing up here. But it's just a killer live album that, live albums should make you feel like you're there in the audience, right? I think that's one of the things that make some of the best albums as great as they are, because it kind of puts you in the front row there with the band, experiencing the band. And we've talked a lot about this in recent weeks when we're doing all these kind of classic live album war shows, is like, what makes a great live album? Is it just that a band can reproduce impeccably challenging studio songs in a live environment? Or is it a band that can take great songs and maybe make them a little bit different, maybe add some extra solos or some improvs, or add some different passages, or maybe, kick them up a notch, maybe they're heavier, maybe they're, got more groove to them, rhythmically they're better, whatever. And I think this is a perfect example. I mean, the studio stuff from Little Feat is excellent, okay? But man, you put on this live album and your toes are tapping. All right, you're getting your groove on. The vocals are good. You got, it's little bits of extended guitar solos and slide solos, and just the ripping rhythms and the bass and the keyboards. It's a feel-good album. You put this album on, it's like, man, it's just like you're instantly transported into like, backyard, summer's out, the sun's out, and you just got a cold one going. It's like, can't beat it, right? So what do we got in here? So I actually have the reissue, which has all sorts of extra stuff, right? This was a great double album when it was first released, but even better here. So we've got on disc 1, you got Join the Band, Fat Man in the Bathtub, which is a great Little Feat tune, one of my favorites. All That You Dream. Oh, Atlanta. Great tune. Great sing-along song, right? Old Folks Boogie. Dixie Chicken. Did you have your Dixie Chicken today? Did you get your Dixie Chicken? I know I did. Love Dixie Chicken. Great tune. Triple Face Boogie. Rocket in My Pocket. Come on. Great stuff. Time Loves a Hero. One of my favorite Little Feat tunes that should always have been on the original album. It's on here. I love Time Loves a Hero. Just such a great tune. Great melody. Day or Night. Mercenary Territory. Spanish Moon. Over on disc 2, you got Willin'. Don't Bogart That Joint Now. Passing on over. Apolitical Blues. Some stinging solos in that. Sailing Shoes. And, of course, Feats Don't Fail Me Now. Another really good, upbeat, bouncy, rip-roaring tune. What else? One Love Stand, Rock and Roll Doctor, great tune. Skin It Back, On Your Way Down, Waiting All Night, Cold, 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 and Day at the Dog Races. So, wait, there's more. Skin It Back, more outtakes. Skin It Back, Red Steamliner, and Teenage Nervous Breakdown. So, if this wasn't already good and it's an original two LP set incarnation, even better on this CD because you've got, a wealth of extra tracks that make it like one of the greatest live albums of all time. And I've heard so many people on the Facebook page already saying that this has long been one of their favorite albums of all time. And whether, like I said, whether you got the original two LP set or you got this double disc CD version with all the extra stuff, no matter what way you slice it, it's a great live album. Okay, this is, if you look up live rock album in the dictionary, this should be listed there because it makes you feel like you're at the concert. Okay, that is a great live album. Okay, on the other end of the ring, weighing in at 175 pounds, right? Because we got light heavyweights here. You got Eagles live, basically released as the band is breaking up, right? So we got this comes hot on the heels of the Long Run album, okay, ironically not including all live material from that tour, right? This basically puts together material, okay, recorded songs from 76 through to 1980. So, of course, you got some different lineups on here, right? So you got disc 1, this also was a 2-disc or 2 LP set. Hotel California, pretty good rendition. Heartache Tonight, also good, pretty rocking. I Can't Tell You Why, done very well here. So, of course, that is all that version of the Eagles. So you've got Glenn Frey, Don Henley, Timothy Schmidt, Joe Walsh, Don Felder, okay. Then you got The Long Run, okay. Another great tune, done well here. Then New Kid in Town, Life's Been Good. Okay, on disc 2, you got Seven Bridges Road. You got Randy Meisner in the band then, right? Wasted Time, Take It to the Limit, Doolin Dalton, Reprise, Desperado, a lot of earlier stuff, right? Saturday Night, All Night Long. Kind of cool to let Joe play that song, right? I love All Night Long. Life in the Fast Lane, Take It Easy. Okay, so you got some stuff from Hotel California and earlier albums, right? Produced by Bill Schmick. I remember getting the LP back in the day. You had all sorts of live photographs, which, they have a few of them here. Not quite as well represented, obviously. All sorts of stuff in here. But when I got this, when I was a kid, I dug this live album quite a bit. Although I thought it was a little strange that they included so much stuff from earlier lineups and what have you. But at the time, there was not a Eagles live album, so this was a live album that kind of encapsulated the band, okay, throughout their short history, which really was pretty short initially when you think about it. But good nonetheless, okay. But when we have to kind of compare the two and pick out a favorite, which is what we always do on these shows, because we want to see, what we're doing is we're having a tournament, a classic live album tournament to crown your favorite live album of all time. So I'm always going to give you my pick. You guys do the same. Here, there's going to be a little circle up in the upper right-hand corner with a letter I in there. That's what you're going to click, and you're going to pick the Eagles or Little Feat here. You can also vote on our Facebook page. But my choice, okay, there is only one choice here. I dig this, but this is masterful. All right, this is a first round KO. Sorry, Eagles. I love the Eagles, But when it comes to live albums, man, it just can't touch this. Does not, can't touch this, as that rapper once said. Waiting for Columbus, man. It's a great one. It's a gret one. It's one of the best feel-good live albums of all time. Sizzling performances. The musicianship is great, but it's just like this. The songs are good. It's got so much energy. The rhythms and the grooves are killer. It's a fun live album, man. And live albums should be fun. All right. And this is one of the most fun and enjoyable live albums out there. If you're not a Little Feat fan, you should be. Or you know what? And if you don't have much Little Feat and you want to just check them out for the first time, just get this. All right, you can go get the studio albums; they're good too. But man, if I would say if you can only buy one Little Feat album in your life, just get this one. Okay. Whereas with the Eagles, while I dig this, some of the studio stuff is really damn good, and this is it's a solid live album, but not quite on the level of this bad boy right here. So. Tell us what you think. Make sure you vote. Okay, in 6 days' time, we will crown a winner of this battle, and the winner of that battle goes on to round 2. Right? We've got more of these live album wars coming up this week. I might have one more for you later today. We'll see how it goes. Visit us on the web at www.seatranquility.org. We're on Facebook. We're on Twitter. Of course, we're on YouTube every day with these live album wars. I'm here all this week, guys, so you're going to see plenty of content from me while I'm around, especially a lot of these live album wars, because we got to start pumping them out so we can move on to round 2. We still have more first round matchups to go. I'm going to try and get to as many as I can over the next couple weeks, and we'll see how it goes. All right, so take care, guys. We'll see you either later or tomorrow, but we'll see you soon. All right, bye-bye.